AK-47, y'all, is said to be the most popular rifle on the planet. Let's go. Here is actually a What's up, YouTube family? It's Grayman47 again, coming back at you with another video. Welcome to my channel and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell also. And at the end of this video, if you like it, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Don't forget to drop some lines in that comment section. All right, y'all, so today I have for you, as far as a firearm, I'm bringing you the AK-47, the automatic Kalashnikov 47, and the version that I'm bringing to you is made by Century Arms, those folks that brought you the Draco. It's the RAS 470 version, so we're going to take a look at that. I got a copy of it that I kind of transformed to fit my needs. I changed it around a little bit, so I'm going to talk to you about that. So let's take a look at it. Let's get into it right now. All right, for those of you that don't know, the AK-47 is a Russian-developed rifle that was developed for the Soviet Army, and it was actually put into use in 1947. I'm not going to get into a lot of history with that, but I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. The gun does get a bad rap because in comparison to the AR-15, it's known as the bad guy's gun, and the AR-15 gets the label of America's gun. So you do see it in the Middle East, you see it used in movies, and a lot of bad guys are using the AK-47. So again, it does get that bad rap for those reasons. However, it is one of the most prolific guns out there, rifles out there, that is held up against the test of time. It runs and runs and runs as far as being dirty. It still runs, so it's very, very robust and just known for its reliability. All right, so let's take a look at my copy of the Century Arms AK-47 RAS 470. This rifle, for those of you that don't know, shoots the cartridge 7.62 by 39, which is a very devastating round, and it's known for its ability to stop threats. So it is a pretty large caliber, and it is a pretty sturdy round. So that's another reason for its popularity. When I first purchased this rifle, I got it about 5 or 6 years ago. I paid about $750 for it. If you look for it now and try to purchase it now, you're going to pay quite a bit more, at least upwards of $1,000. So they do cost a bit more now, just like every other gun does at this point in time. When I first bought this rifle, the furniture on this rifle was different than it is now, obviously. It came with a wooden stock. It was a solid wooden stock. And then also the guard up front, the hand guard up front, was wooden as well. It just really had that old school AK-47 look, the ones that you see over in the Middle East. And the handle itself was a plastic handle or polymer handle, but I did upgrade that as well. So I kind of went back and forth. I debated on whether or not I wanted to keep that old school look, or I wanted to go with a new modern tactical look. And obviously, you can see I chose to go with the more modern tactical look. All right, if you look at the stock here, I have a Magpul polymer stock, which is really sturdy. It just looks good. It has the metal cut out. It's a nice design, plus it's lightweight. It has rubber on the back of the stock for comfort. So when I shoot this rifle, it absorbs a lot of the recoil. And like I said, the back of the stock is rubber, so it kind of helps out with the recoil in that regard. As far as the handle's concerned, I did choose to go with a Magpul grip. I love Magpul products. So a lot of my rifles and things like that, if I can make upgrades, I do choose Magpul. So I got a Magpul handle or grip here on it. And then also I chose to go with Picatinny rails for the guard. And so there's Picatinny rails all over this rifle, so I can mount accessories to it. So I did choose to go that way. It did add some weight to it as compared to the wood that was there originally, but I think it's more functional and I think it looks a little better. All right, as far as an optic, I am running a Fairfield optic on here, red dot on here, and I'm running it pretty far up on this front rail. I know some of you guys are gonna have issues with that. I should be running it further back, and I do have the adapter that goes on so that you can mount things a little bit easier or up closer. I do have that as well, but I just chose not to. I like it up front, and I've had no zero issues. I've shot it up there, and I've had no issues with losing zero, so I'm kind of content with where it is. All right, on the right side, I have a very cheap laser. I'm not a big laser guy. I know a lot of people question what's the use, of lasers. There's a big debate over whether or not lasers are actually functional, or are they really useful or not. I just use lasers on some of my rifles and on my CZ Scorpion as a last ditch effort optic. So if I'm in a position where I can't bring my gun or my sights up to my eye so that I can present the weapon properly, maybe I'm stuck in a position like this, I can turn the laser on and hopefully get it on my target and fire from that position. So I do have a very inexpensive laser on the right side, and then on the left side of the rifle, I have an Olight. If you guys have watched any of my videos, you know I love Olights. They just function well. They hold up against recoil and things like that. And then one of the best functions about the Olights is you can just recharge them. You don't have to worry about going out and getting batteries for them. So I do have an Olight on the left side, which works very well as far as my grip. I can activate the light very easily with my left hand. So I am running that on the left side of my gun. All right, so this gun does come with the traditional AK47 style sights, which is right here. You can adjust it for windage and elevation. Over here is the front sight post as well in traditional form for AK-47s. All right, so those things come standard with the gun itself. As far as magazines are concerned, it does come with, this version did come with a Magpul magazine, and it came with the plastic lip magazines, and I went out and bought the next generation, which has the steel reinforced connector and lip feed as well. So just made it a little bit more sturdy, but I normally shoot and keep a steel magazine because I like the steel magazines a little bit better, and I use that as far as when I go to the range and things like that. So obviously they're 30 round magazines just like the Magpul magazines. I have a number of the steel ones, and I have a number of the Magpul as well. So I do keep those handy. I do keep stocked up on the 30 round magazines for the AK-47. I know some of y'all are thinking and looking at the video and saying, is that a 5.56 or 223 in an AK-47 video that's on the table? And the answer to that is yes. I do have that here because I wanted to compare it to the 7.62 and just kind of let you guys, for those of you that aren't familiar, let you guys see the difference. So as far as height is concerned, they are very, very neck and neck in terms of height of the total height of each round. But if you look closely at that 7.62 round in comparison to the 5.56, there's a big difference in mass. That 7.62 round is much, much bigger and much heavier than the 5.56. So just kind of so that you guys have a comparison of those two rounds. That's why that's there. All right, so I do get a lot of questions about the recoil on the AK-47 versus the recoil on the 5.56. And so is there a difference in recoil? I'm going to say absolutely there is some difference in recoil. You're going to feel more of a recoil with the AK-47 than you do with the 5.56. Now that being said, me personally, I don't think that the AK-47's recoil is unmanageable by any means. I think it's very manageable. I think it is maybe just a little heavier than that of the AR-15, but it is manageable. And when I say it's manageable, I mean by most users' standards. I think even a beginning shooter who's new to rifles can manage the recoil of the AK-47, including small statured folks, women, girls, smaller boys. I think everybody, for the most part, most people can manage the recoil. I mean, it's not anything in comparison to a 12 gauge shotgun. It's much different than that. I know it's a scarier looking gun than a lot of rifles, so people automatically assume that the recoil must be devastating, but it's really not. All right, so I'm gonna give you some range footage of me shooting this rifle at the range here shortly, but before I do that, I'm gonna give you a quick field strip, let you see how quick and easy this thing is to break down. I always recommend cleaning guns at least after every couple sessions at the range. Some people will tell you I never clean my AR or I never clean my AK47, especially the AK, because it just runs dirty, it doesn't matter. Me personally, I'm a big fan of keeping my guns clean, whether they're a Glock, AK47, guns that are known to run dirty. I still make it a habit just out of safety to keep my guns running clean. So I'm gonna do a quick field strip on this before I give you the range footage. All right, so make sure that the magazine is out of the rifle. Take the magazine out, make sure the gun is clear, all clear. All right, and I'm gonna take this little rail adapter off, and at the very back of this rifle, you'll see a button. If you push this button in, you'll be able to take this front cover off, this top cover off. Make sure you depress it all the way in. And be very careful when you push it in that this spring doesn't come flying out. You can pull the spring right out. And there you have it. And the bolt group will slide right out. Okay? And there you have it. At that point, it's field strip. You can do your regular maintenance cleaning and then just put it back together and you're good to go. After field stripping the rifle, reassembly is pretty easy. Take the bolt group, put it back in, and there are two little grooves and two little notches on the bolt group. You'll go right down into the two grooves, press down, and slide it forward. Take the spring, it goes back at the top of the bolt group, and there's a foot on the end of this spring. You're going to push it back, it'll go between two little grooves on the receiver, and it's ready. Take the dust cover, you're going to put it back on top of the rifle, and I usually take a screwdriver and I depress that button back in and make sure that the dust cover is properly seated at the very front, and it's back on and ready to go. All right, y'all, like I promised earlier in the video, I'm gonna give you some range footage of me shooting the AK-47. But before we cut to that range footage, I want to remind you, if you already have it, do me a huge favor, smash that subscribe button, hit that little notification bell so you get notified every time I put out content. Also, don't forget to drop some lines in that comment section. I love hearing from you guys. So here we go to the range footage, but like I always say, if you ain't packing, you're slacking. I'll see you when I see you.